As many of you already know by now, I've started a clothing brand. But up until this point, I haven't officially announced what the name of the clothing brand is. In this video, I'm gonna tell you what the name of the clothing brand is and why I chose it. But before I do that, if you haven't seen the video where I announced that I was starting this clothing brand, check that out over on my main channel. If I can link it right up here, put one of those cards there, I will. I don't know if that works between two different channels, but if I can, I'll link it right up here. So be sure to check that out. Now in that video, I go through all of the ins and outs, all of the ups and downs that I've been having over the years with just jumpstarting this clothing brand. Everything that I went through mentally just to get to this point and the journey that it took me to get here. This brand was conceptualized in 2018. That's when I came up with the name of the brand. And it meant a lot to me. It was something that I knew resonated with me. And the way I understood branding is that if you can tell your story, if you can have people relate to it, then you have the chance of it being successful. So that was my idea, that was my mentality. What is the name of this clothing brand? The name of my clothing brand is Styled by Rio. You may be wondering, why did I choose that name? Well, that's the official name. The official name is Styled by Rio. In short, it's just called Styled. Styled is more so just that expression of self. It meant a lot to me because what I do with clothing, my preference for how I wear clothing is from a styling approach, a styling standpoint. A lot of times people will look more into the fashion aspect of clothing. I prefer to look more into the styling aspect of clothing. And I think it's more of a difference of approach and difference in interest. But for me, style is just such an important part of how you carry yourself as a person. When you think about style, and I actually made an entire video of what style meant to me over on my main channel. If I can link it up here, I will. If not, I'll just put these links down below in the description section. So in the description, you should see the video where I go into depth about the back end of the clothing brand. It's like the original story, or at least the origin story, and all of the conceptualization, is that a word? And how I conceptualized everything from the beginning, from 2018 to where we are right now. And all the steps I was taking to get me to this point with the brand in itself and also mentally, because where I'm at right now was more of a mental battle. I'll link those two videos down below, where I started, or at least how I got to this point, and the what is style video. Personal expression essentially is style. When you think about how somebody wears the clothing that they choose, that is their style. When you think about how somebody wears their hair, how they tie their shoes, how they walk, how they talk, everything comes down to style, the embodiment of how you carry yourself. That is what style really is. And when it comes to clothing, it's how you wear these pieces is when you really bring out your true style. Now, the garments that I want to produce are the type of garments that I like wearing. And if you've known me, or at least known my style, at least known my content for some time, my style will be more of a mixture of street casual and dapper casual. That's more so the embodiment of how I express myself through clothing is in that mix. So the type of garments that I'm producing are going to be well within that field. However, I also like to wear a lot of like casual activewear, like sweats and sweatsuits and things like that. When you think about style, it's all about that expression of self. And I wanted to produce garments that I myself could wear and express myself through wearing these pieces, but not just me, also for the people that want to buy the pieces and want to be a part of this journey and want to be customers and just partaking with the brand's journey. The way I look at it is, when you select the garments that you're going to be wearing and you put those on, the way you wear it will not be exactly the way the next person wears it. Yeah, you can be wearing the same exact thing, but how you are and who you are is going to change how it looks on you. By saying that, once you've worn it or once you've put it on, you have styled it. It has become your style. It has become a part of you because you put your character into these pieces when you choose to wear it, however you choose to wear it. That is what style really is. It's how you do what you do. And I want to produce pieces that allows for you to do what you do while you're wearing these pieces. That is really it. That is the backstory of why it's called Styled. Now, where does the by Rio come in at? Well, it kind of has a couple different, maybe 2 or 3 different ways you can look at it. With the brand's name being Styled and it being my brand, so it's Styled by Rio. It's the brand Styled, made, produced, designed by me. And I'm sure down the line I'll have more people working with me. Right now I'm just a one-man team. And a lot of times people will make their brands just their name. So my brand could have been called Rio and then maybe my last name. I keep my last name more private because it's more personal. That's my personal life. I don't like putting my personal life out there. And I'm sure at some point it may be this thing where my last name just becomes a part of everything. But as of now, in all my whole tenure in existence on the internet, that's just something I kept personal and private because it's my person, it's me, it's my government. I didn't want to make the brand something that where I would put my name on clothing. And I know that's a very common thing for a lot of designers, a lot of clothing brand owners to do. That's just something it didn't really touch my core. Like, maybe it's like I didn't carry that much big of an ego to put my name on clothing. And not to say that somebody who does carries a big ego, but for me, it was just something innately that I just was against. I just didn't, I didn't want to do that. And again, not to say it's a bad thing, it's not something that I wanted to do. One, brand name is styled by Rio. Twofold way of that is looking at it is that anything that I produce is going to be something that I will wear. So not only will you be styling these pieces, as will I will style anything I wear. And if you saw the video where I announced the brand and all the struggles I had mentally behind getting this brand to this point of existence, I mentioned in that video that I came to a point where I just had a conversation with myself, a heart to heart, just talking to myself. Was like, listen, bro, you got to do this because it's something that you've been working on behind the scenes for a very, very long time. If you can wear these pieces, anything that you produce, if you can wear it and make it look good, then you can sell it. In itself, that's why it's styled by Rio, because I'm going to style anything that I design and create. And of course, I want you guys to style it as well. Saying who you are without speaking, these pieces will be designed to do that. I know over time, this brand will take on its own identity, and I always want to have some kind of attachment to this brand, and that's why my name is a part of it. Although the actual name of the brand is styled, the by Rio is just making sure that there's some bit of a connection to the owner. And I've done a lot of research on branding, a lot of things like that. And what I've learned is that people don't necessarily buy a product just for no reason. They usually buy from a person. And if they have a personal connection with that person, they're more inclined to purchase from them. Styled could just be styled. It could have just been, the brand could have just been called styled. But where's the personal connection with that? The by Rio is what attaches it to a person, and that's attached to me. It requires me to be the best version of myself at all times for these people and for the brand. By saying that, you can't fail your own name. The other reasoning why it's styled by Rio and not just styled is because from a legalization, however you want to pay, from a legal standpoint, I wasn't able to do styled as a legalized brand. I wasn't able to get an LLC on styled. I can't trademark styled, but I can trademark styled by Rio. So that brand would always be my brand because it's attached to me. This name, styled by Rio, was conceptualized in 2018. And whenever I told people the name of the brand, most people were like, but why? Like, why would you choose that? Because they didn't get it. They didn't understand. And when I explained it to them, they understood it, but they still wasn't the biggest fan of the name. Where I've gotten to at a place in my life is I don't really put too much thought into what other people care about, something I've put a lot of thought into. Not to say I don't care how other people think or what they feel, but I am such a thinker. And sometimes I overthink. Well, a lot of times I overthink. But I think so much about what I want to do or how I want to do something that if I'm sharing it with you, my mind is already made up. Whether you like it or not, it doesn't really matter, because as long as I like it, then that's important to me. How I feel about something I'm doing is more important to me than how somebody else feels about something I'm doing, especially if they're not being directly affected by it. I'm just sharing how I feel about it with you. Styled by Rio means something to me just because that is that personal expression. It's that expression of oneself. And to wear clothes is to style clothes. And once you've worn it, you styled it. And that is really it. Clothing is to be worn. Clothing is to be styled. These pieces are simply that. They're to be worn and to be styled. That's why the name is simply put, styled by Rio. That is the brand name. Let me know what you guys think about that. This is the brand. This is what I've been rolling with. And as of right now, you guys can't see the box. I have the box right over here, which is my first iteration of my samples. I wasn't supposed to receive these samples, but in the next video, I'm gonna open this box and share what these samples are with you guys and kind of tell you what happened, because I was supposed to receive these samples back in December, and it's 2 months after that. So I'm gonna be telling you about that and sharing with you what happened with that, and of course, revealing what these products are, what my first garments, my first drop is gonna be. So stay tuned to that video. It literally would be the next video because the box is right here. I'm gonna open it up since I'm done finishing this and film for that. Let me know what you guys think about the brand. Let me know what you guys think about the brand name. Does it make sense why I named my brand this? Does it make sense to what the name is? Like, does this name make sense for a clothing brand? Let me know what your thoughts are down below. Again, it meant a lot to me. That's why I'm rolling with it. If you don't like it, you don't understand it, that's all right. That's quite all right. Hopefully I can still produce pieces that you will like, and in time, you will grow to like the name of the brand. But that does it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one with these samples, which I'm about to open here in a moment. So stay tuned for that. Peace.